There are four main methods that people use to solve the 2x2. Layer by layer, Ortega, CLO, and EG. So today I'm going to be analysing them, explaining their differences. Just a disclaimer and a bit of a spoiler alert actually. EG is objectively the best method, and this video is not comparing the methods, I'm just explaining the differences between them. So if you are looking for the objective best method, go for EG. Firstly, I'm just going to be showing all of the methods in case you don't know what some of them are. So the first one is layer by layer, and I don't mean like the beginner method, it's where you do stuff a lot more efficiently. So here I'm going to be solving a layer, like this. Then I'm going to do OLO, make the top all the same, and then PLO. Next is Ortega. Now this is a bit like layer by layer, except the first step is that you do not have to make a full layer, you just have to make a side of colors. Then you do pretty much the same, so we've got OLO, and then it's not PLO because sometimes the bottom might not be solved, so we have to do a PBL algorithm. Now for CLO, this one's a little bit like layer by layer, except you combine two of the steps. So you do make a layer, just like in LBL, although for this step you don't just do OLO and then PLO. What you do is you do OLO and PLO at the same time, so you do one algorithm from here. And for the EG method, you basically combine the concept of CLO and Ortega. So you make just a side, not a layer, in just like Ortega. And then, like CLO, from here you just solve the rest with one algorithm. So remember this chart. This will be kind of the basis in like dissecting these methods. So there are basically two types of methods. One we start with a layer first, and the one we don't start with a layer. Or sometimes you can start up with a layer, but it's not necessary. And then here, this line kind of separates if you need to use two algs to solve the top layer, or if you just need one alg to solve the top layer. Obviously, there are a few trade-offs. So the advantage of not building a layer first is that it usually takes less moves. Now, there's obviously a trade-off between building a layer first and not building a layer. So if we're in a situation like this and we need to build just a side, so we're not going to build a layer here, then in a situation like this, we can do 1, 2, 3 moves and we've made our side. But in this case, if we wanted to make a layer, then we have to do 1, 2, 3, 4 moves. I forgot to mention this, but when it comes to tracking pieces and predicting what the last layer is going to be like, one move can make a huge difference. And the reason is, if you're adding one move, you have to track at least 3 of the last layer corners, and that can take a whole another second. So in terms of making your layers efficient, sides are always going to be more efficient than layers. There is an advantage to building a layer. You will never have to rotate. So let's make this layer right here. Now, as you can see, we have, I don't know, some CLO or maybe even LBL case, in case you don't know this, so I'll just do LBL. Then you'll never have to rotate because the bottom's always solved. But let's say we're in this Ortega case and we have the bar on the right here. And when we do this OLO, we get this case where you might execute it from here. But if the bar's on the bottom, you might do it from here. But either way, you have to do a rotation. Or what you could do is learn an algorithm for that angle. Either way, if the bar doesn't end up on your side, then you either have to do a rotation or learn a new algorithm. That being said, most EG1 algorithms have the bar at the back. So if you can make just a side with the bar on the back, if it is a bar case, then you're alright. Now, there is an obvious trade-off of using 2 algs to solve a case versus only 1 algorithm to solve a case. Obviously, 1 algorithm is faster than doing 2 algorithms. But obviously, if you want to solve a case with 1 algorithm, then usually there are a lot more cases. And the reason why people break cases into 2 algorithms is because there are a lot less to learn. For example, for CLO, you have to learn 42 algorithms, while for layer by layer, you only have to learn 9 algorithms. Actually, if we count the amount of algorithms you have to learn, layer by layer takes 9. Layer by layer requires you to learn 9 algorithms. Ortega requires you to learn 12. Thank you. CLO requires you to learn 42 algorithms, and EG requires you to learn a monstrous 128 algorithms. But with a bit of mirrors and using this thing called anti-CLO, which I'm not going to go into right now, you can shorten that down to about 63, I think. Okay, I kind of lied. We're going to go into a bit of comparing, but we're going to throw CLO and EG out the way. Which method should you start with? There are big advantages and disadvantages to both methods. Now, for layer by layer, you don't have to learn as many algorithms, and you can make a layer pretty easily because I'm going to assume if you're a beginner and you're wanting to learn something more advanced, then I'm sure you'll be able to make a layer pretty easily. And also this has less algorithms, so it's less demotivating for beginners. But there are actually a few advantages to Ortega as well. You obviously get to make a face, which obviously it doesn't have to be a layer. I also think it can kind of help you in the long run. So let's say you're doing CLO and, oh no, you messed up the layer, but you don't want to go back. So you can just do Ortega right now because the solve is literally just Ortega. So that's what I mean. It can kind of help you like out of tough situations if you continue to do 2x2. So I would say that CLO probably appeals to beginners more, but Ortega will help you a lot more if you decide to learn it. And it's only like 3 more algorithms, and the algorithms aren't that bad, so I would say choose what you want. What do you think about these methods? Is there something that I missed out that you'd like to point out? Leave it in the comments, and I'll leave a heart. Might even pin it if I think it's really interesting. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.